universe is united in power, so too the wise person execute his actions with power and creativity. Exceptional progress comes by correct persistence. The receptive earth is in power. I thought we were gonna I was gonna read one and then you were gonna read another one, but
no, go for like 3 to 5 to 10 minutes, whatever you feel like doing.
Okay, yeah. Earth above, earth below, yielding. The receptive earth is in power. The wise person follows the natural path of calmness and correct persistence. Others may lead while you support your goals. Water above, thunder below, confusion. Thunderclouds indicate profound disquiet. Undertake no distant goal, but organize support. Concern yourself with the problems of the moment. Mountain above, water below, and experience. As spring water collects at the base of a quiet mountain, the enlightened person finds his level through learning, decisiveness, and correct persistence. Water above, heaven below, waiting. Clouds of anxiety rise. Do not be anxious, but wait with confidence. The moment will arrive when correct persistence brings progress. Heaven above, water below, conflict. Heaven and water, strength and profundity, conflict. Avoid confrontation, yield with caution, persist not against obstacles. The receptive earth holds the water, and the wise person will find strength in the company of many fellows. With leadership there will be correct persistence and good fortune. Water above, earth below, unity. The receptive earth beneath with profundity above indicates the need for unity and collective awareness of the goal. Do not procrastinate. Join with others and return to the plan. Wind above, heaven below, restraint. The winds of gradual change, supported by the strength of heaven, shows that restraint brings progress and satisfaction. Make minor changes and conceal all actions. Heaven above, light below, correct conduct. The excessive beneath, the strong above, discriminate between the inferior and superior to achieve progress. Change gives way to stability. Earth above, heaven below, prosperity. The strength of heaven mingles with the receptive earth. The wise leader benefits from this harmony. Good fortune approaches. Heaven above, earth below, stagnation. The strong and the receptive do not meet. Strong persons give way to the inferior. The enlightened person remains reserved to avoid misfortune. No advantage in persistence. Heaven above, fire below, community. Strength of heaven, dependence of fire. Recognize the dependence of all upon their fellows. The wise person seeks the collective flow to gain advantage. Fire above, heaven below, sovereignty. The strength of heaven holds that shows people what is actually happening. I fucking lived there. Competition brings great power. I know what's happening. I'm gonna post about it. Earth above, mountain below, moderation. The tranquil mountain amid the receptive earth indicates great progress to the reduction of excess. Progress comes by thunder above. It's all an opportunity cost. So the receptive earth is the right later. So lake below, thunder below, lake above, thunder below, flexibility. Limits of excess, growth, persistence, and progress. The enlightened person adapts and leads to the way from darkness. Mountain above, that's what is to be done will be done, and thereby you resurrect, you just have to resurrect. Cultivate action in others to bring about repair and great progress. If starting, meditate. But it is the annihilation of earthly joys and the pleasures of your life. Promotion. Why study it? The USCO luxury is the pleasures of your life. Why study? Enlightened person willing to teach and learn from others. Progress comes from persistence. Wind above, earth below, contemplation. As the wind moves over the earth,
Sponsorship Secrets.com is a working hour.
They visited various regions and The turbulence within the light indicates the need for change. Administer justice. Mountains above, fire below, serenity. Disputes. No progress except in small matters. Mountain above, earth below, deterioration. The weak earth cannot support the mountain. The realm deteriorates. Enlightened people stabilize their lives through generosity towards the needy. Earth above, thunder below, repetition. The beginning of a new cycle shows the repetition brings new progress toward a goal. Friends return. The repeating cycle is falling away. Heaven above, thunder below, spontaneity. Strength above and activity below indicates an without a trouble. Heaven below, protection. The strength of the heavens comes from the movement of the mountain. Enlightened person stays in the process of
Well,
Okay, nicely done. All right, I'm gonna read from this one author called R.H. Blythe, Zen and Zen Classics. I'm gonna get the book. Give me one sec. What did you read from the I Ching?
different sort of symbolic patterns that you need to follow to find like equanimity in the sort of decisions that you're making.
Okay, I got this cool book called The Incredible I Ching by Louis Culling. I'm gonna read the Yang and Yin. Male, female, projective, receptive, starting, sustaining, initiating, nourishing, summer, winter, midday, midnight, the sun, the moon, brilliance, reflected light, active, passive, hard, soft, strong, weak, intellect, emotions, leading, following, extroversive, introversive. Okay, this is page 23. Here follow condensed keywords of the 8 trigrams to be used in evaluating the hexagrams. Number 1, Qian, creative impulse, the great will, great projective strength, but must have support, else blind. 2, Air, mind, the mental concept, flexible, penetrating. Number 3, Sun, brilliance, union, realization, great individuality if given a chance. Number 4, Earth Mountain, consolidation, stability, the body, fixation, material, garment, restricting if unsupported. Number 5, Water, pleased satisfaction, placid, easy movement, imagination. Lazy or sensuous if unsupported. Number 6, Moon, immature and the restrictions of immaturity, peril, rash and blindly reckless, unsupported egotism. Number 7, Fire lighting, great physical will, exciting, strong will, misdirected if unsupported. In another sense, it is the unconscious will to go, as of a babe emerging from the womb, symbolized by the trigram, which follows number 8. Number 8, Quan, great nourishment, expansion, Mother Earth, great womb, infinite desire. If not well supported, is merely rampant desire and emotions, or the unsurfeited. Okay. This chapter is called Divination. It says, most astute thinker and practitioner in the occult field, Mark Edmund Jones, defines divination as the employment of occult means to gain advanced information in the course of events or to achieve a greater than normal insight into the potential of anything. Aleister Crowley resorted to more personal divination than any other man that comes to mind, and with meticulous records and notes typical of Crowley, he used the word intelligences, where a psychologist such as Jung prefers different words, but words which have the same basic implications. Here follows Crowley's explanation of divination. We postulate the existence of intelligences either without or within the diviner, of which he is not immediately conscious. It matters not to the theory whether the communicating spirit is an objective entity or an obscure portion of the diviner's mind. We postulate that it is possible to construct a compendium of hieroglyphs sufficiently elastic in meaning to include all possible ideas, tarot, Kabbalah, astrology, I Ching, etc. We assume that any of these hieroglyphics will be understood by the intelligences with whom we wish to communicate in the same sense as it is by ourselves. Then Crowley has this to say about the I Ching. The I Ching is served by beings free from these defects. The intense purity of the symbols prevent them from being misused or usurped by intelligences with an axe of their own to grind. Pranksome elementals instinctively avoid the austere sincerity of the figures. Author's note, if one prefers to regard intelligences and daemons as subjective forces of the diviner's subconscious, the end manifestations are the same anyway. We swim in an ocean of unknown quantities. To argue the point in an arbitrary manner is akin to claiming to know the size, weight, and color of such realities as life and psyche. Now let us essay the various important things in attempting divination in the order of importance. I'm just going to skip all that. And then there's working the oracle. The method which I prefer is as follows. Hold up some fingers of both hands, total this number of fingers, and if it be an odd number, let it be yang, and if an even number, yin. This is for the bottom line of the hexagram. The process is complete by doing this 5 more times, casting the entire hexagram. Okay, condensed meanings of the 64 hexagrams with comments based on the analysis of the trigrams. Number 1 text. What is great, originating and penetrating, meet the great man. Okay, yeah, I see that. It could be cool. Do you have the condensed meanings of the 64 hexagrams?
I have like the entire book. I don't think I have the condensed meaning. No.
Okay. Okay, let me just read the first 10 to you. And then I'm going to take a break. Condensed meanings of the 64 hexagrams with comments based on an analysis of the trigrams. Number 1 text. What is great, originating and penetrating, meet the great man. Comment. But there is no responding yin line which gives nourishment and sustainment. It requires vigilance to keep this force within reasonable bounds. Number 2 text. Suddenly encountering like meeting a bold woman, therefore good only for short duration. Comment. Air is a weak, airy mental image of Qian, the great. The great one can deliver charges. Number 3 text. Union of men, cross the stream, progress and success. Comment. Brilliant realization, son of the great Qian, the creative impulse in a report. 4 text. Retiring tale of the great growth and increase in power of small men before superior men. Comment. Earth, fixedness and consolidation but restrictive of Qian the great, hampered in form. 5 text. Treading on the tiger's tail, but he does not bite. Complacence, even weakness, brings satisfaction. Comment. Water. Pleased satisfaction dampens Kien, excessive energy and strength, therefore easy going. 6 text. Contention, which requires restraint and caution. Meet the great man, but do not cross the stream. Comment the moon, a dangerous gorge. Is restriction of Kien. Strength, the creative impulse, the great. 7 text. Exciting motive power, which requires correctness and rectitude. Comment fire, great exciting energy of the physical will and emotions in conjunction with Kien, the great creative will. This naturally requires regulation for best outcome. 8 text, the great Kien Gong, the little Quan Kan. Comment. Quan, the world, shutting up or absorbing the Kien, superior projection. Obviously, Quan, being completely yin, can invoke the higher Kien, completely yang, to great advantage, and this is ideal for yin and even good for yang if the supplication is not too selfish or too sensuous. Does not yang have a drive to fill up a worthy yin? Number 9, text. Small restraint, free course, good fortune, quick success. Comment, Kien. Creation of air, the mental concept, Kien. Great force in air, the mind. 10, text. Easy movement without restraint, but only small attainments. Time to see the great man. Comment. Both trigrams are air, mind. The flexibility of mind itself, line of least resistance. Okay, that's the first 10. That's called condensed meanings of the 64 hexagrams. So again, I kind of always go back to like just getting right into it as like a hypnosis. And that's the first 10. So I'll read the rest, I guess. Let me see. No, that's too many. It's a lot. But it's a really, I would say if you could read these 64 condensed hexagram, trigram things, so the 64 hexagrams, like that's a lot in there, but it has to have some type of like a neural network inherent in the 64 hexagrams. So if you could implant those 64 hexagrams, it has to have a tremendous value. Anyways, all of this is, I think, like a hypnosis, neural network for, I guess, reintegrating the mind in many ways from brain rot, if that makes any sense. And you could just do it daily, but this is the reading books to each other room. Q, do you want to go? I'm going to take a reading break.
Yeah, I can definitely, for sure.
Okay, go ahead. Go for like 3 to 10 minutes.
I'm just really trying to find like a really good text to read. Give me a second. Okay, found it. The thinker and the prover. All that we are is the result of all that we have thought. It is founded on thought. It is based on thought. Buddha, the Dhammapada. William James, father of American psychology, tells us of meeting an old lady who told him that the earth rested on the back of a huge turtle. But my dear lady, Professor James asked, as politely as possible, what holds up the turtle? Ah, she said, that's easy. He is standing on the back of another turtle. Oh, I see, said Professor James, still being polite. But would you be so good as to tell me what holds up the second turtle? It's no use, Professor, said the old lady, realizing he was trying to lead her into a logical trap. It's turtles, turtles, turtles all the way. Don't be too quick to laugh at this little old lady. All human minds work on fundamentally similar principles. Her universe was a little bit weirder than most, but it was built upon the same mental principles as every other universe people have believed in. As Dr. Leonard Orr has noted, the human mind behaves as if we're divided into two parts, the thinker and the prover. virtually anything. History shows that it can think the earth is suspended on the backs of infinite turtles, or that the earth is hollow, or that the earth is floating in space. Comparative religion and philosophy shows that the thinker can regard itself as mortal, as immortal, as both mortal and immortal, the reincarnation model, or even as non-existent, Buddhism. It can even think itself into living in a Christian universe, a Marxist universe, a scientific relativistic universe, or a Nazi universe, among many possibilities. As psychiatrists and psychologists have often observed, much to the chagrin of their medical colleagues, the thinker can think itself sick, and can even think itself well again. The prover is a much simpler mechanism. It operates on one law only. Whatever the thinker thinks, the prover proves. To cite a notorious example which unleashed incredible horrors earlier in the century, if the thinker thinks that all Jews are rich, the prover will prove it. It will find evidence that 1. Millions of people believe that, including the present author, the poorest Jew in the most rundown ghetto has hidden money somewhere. Similarly, feminists are able to believe that all men, including the starving wretches who live and sleep on the streets, are exploiting all women, including the Queen of England. If the thinker thinks that the sun moves around the earth, the prover will obligingly organize all perceptions to fit that thought. If the thinker changes its mind and decides that the earth moves around the sun, the prover will reorganize the evidence. If the thinker thinks holy water from Lourdes will cure its lumbago, the prover will skillfully orchestrate all signals from the glands, muscles, organs, etc., until they have organized themselves into good health again. Of course, it is fairly easy to see that other people's minds operate this way. It is comparatively much harder to become aware that one's own mind is working that way also. It is to believe, for instance, that some men are more objective than others. One seldom hears this about women. Businessmen are allegedly hard-nosed, pragmatic, and objective in this sense. The brief examination of the dingbat politics most businessmen endorse will quickly correct that impression. Scientists, however, are still believed to be objective. No study of the lives of the great scientists will confirm this. They were as passionate and hence as prejudiced as many assembly of great painters or great musicians. It was not just the church, but also the established astronomers of the time who condemned Galileo. The majority of physicists rejected Einstein's special relativity theory in 1905. Einstein himself would not accept anything in quantum theory after 1920, no matter how many experiments supported it. Edison's commitment to direct current DC electrical generators led to insist alternating current AC generators were unsafe for years after their safety had been proven to everyone else. Edison's pig-headedness on this matter was partly the result of his jealousy against Nikola Tesla, the inventor of the AC generators. Tesla, on the other hand, refused the Nobel Prize when it was offered to him, and Edison jointly because he refused to appear on the same platform with Edison. Both of these geniuses were only capable of objectivity in science in certain limited laboratory conditions. If science achieves or approximates objectivity, not because the individual scientist is immune from the psychological laws that govern the rest of us, but because scientific method, a group creation, eventually overrides individual prejudices in the long run. To take a notorious example from the 1960s, there was a point when 3 research groups had proven that LSD causes chromosome damage, while 3 other groups had proven that LSD has no effect on chromosomes. In each case, the prover had proved what the thinker thought. Right now, there are in physics 7 experiments that confirm a very controversial concept known as Bell's theorem, and 2 experiments that refute Bell's theorem. In the area of extrasensory perception, the results are uniform after more than a century. Everybody who sets out to prove that ESP exists succeeds, and everybody who sets out to prove that ESP does not exist also succeeds. Truth, or relative truth, emerges only after decades of experiments by thousands of groups all over the world. So, let's see. And if the thinker passionately enough, the prover will prove that the thought so conclusively that he will never talk a person out of such a belief, even if it is something as remarkable as the notion that there is a gaseous vertebrae of astronomical half God will spend all eternity torturing people who do not believe in this religion. So here are some psychological exercises. Sad as it is to say, you never understand anything by merely reading a book about it. That's why every science course includes laboratory experiments, and why every consciousness liberation movement demands practice of yogas, meditations, and confrontation techniques, etc., in which the ideas are tested in the laboratory of your own nervous system. The reader will absolutely not understand this book unless he or she does the exercises
The klezmer playing in the background, I got a new klezmer
to
record.
explore the
It's not
thinker
that
and
good.
prover. Try the
In the I Ching, the Chinese divination system, hexagram number 3 is the.
that you're going to find the quarter.
There is no.
Then look at the quarter every time you take a walk to direct the crowd. Continuing to electrical generators.
In the Chinese.
Find the watching current. Explain the above and the hypothesis of selective attention. That is, believe that there are lots of lost quarters everywhere, and you are bound to find one by continually looking. Go looking for a second quarter. Explain the experiment by the alternative mystical hypothesis that mind controls everything. Believe that you made the quarter manifest in this universe. Go looking for a second quarter. If the reader is a scientist, be not alarmed. This refers not to you, but only to the benighted fools in the opposite camp who refuse to recognize that your theory is the only reasonable one, of course. Number 4. Compare the time it takes you to find the second quarter using the first hypothesis, attention, with the time it takes using the second hypothesis, mind over matter. 5. With your own ingenuity, invent similar experiments and each time compare the two theories, selective attention, coincidence, versus mind controls everything, psychokinesis. 6. Avoid coming to any at the end of the month, reread this chapter, think it over again, and still postpone coming to any dogmatic conclusion. Believe it possible that you do not know everything yet, and that you might have something still to learn.
People's Cornet students are just as much of an audience until 6 on camp, and you just complain
Go
of
to a party in that frame of mind. Observe how people treat you. 8. Convince yourself, if you are not aware, go to a This exercises comes in 2 parts. First, observe the exercise to yourself. If you think you have learned the lessons of these exercises in less than 6 months, you haven't been really working at them. With real work, in 6 months, you should just be beginning to realize how little you know about everything. 10. Believe it is possible that you can float off the ground and fly by merely willing it. See what happens. If this exercise
I'm walking down this road of mine. If one thing I know, please don't scroll. I'm just trying to be.
If one thing, ambitions and hopes in all areas of your life.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become.
Actor does pretend until the pretense begins to feel real, or as Jasper.
Please don't scroll. Please don't scroll. Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to.
So yeah, that's chapter 1.
Okay, nice. Okay, this is from R.H. Blythe. This is called Zen and Zen Classes, Volume 5, 24 Essays, Hokusaido Press. Again, R.H. Blythe, B-L-Y-T-H. These are amazing books. I couldn't stop buying them. I think they're like pretty rare, you know, just like a lot of these books you'll never see again. Maybe they'll reprint them, but I think people like, maybe I'm just projecting. Mm, okay, maybe this will be interesting to you. This is Zen, Christianity, and Buddhism. In some ways, there is more Zen about Christianity than Buddhism. Certainly, there is more Zen to be found in English literature than in Japanese or Chinese literature. And in Indian literature, Zen is painfully absent. But first, let us consider the fundamental identity of Christianity and Buddhism and Zen, and then take some equally fundamental differences. The essence of Christianity is Christ died for you. Buddhism teaches that we have the Buddha nature. When you are the universe, there is Zen. But you have the Buddha nature means that you are divine. You are one with Christ. You are the universe is another way of saying you are God. Thus, Zen may be called the ultimate simplification of both Christianity and Buddhism, the former being clabbered up with emotionalism and theology, the latter entangled in morality and a more or less scientific philosophy. However, the theology of Christianity is highly symbolical, and since human beings live by metaphors and similes taken from nature, the great stereotype, the dogmas of Christianity should be, and perhaps are subconsciously understood in the Zen way. The creation of the universe by God means God's giving up his allness, becoming imperfect in order to look at his own perfection, in order to think of himself. It is the fall of God, of which the creation and fall of Adam is a kind of close-up. The intellect is separated from the rest of the personality, and judges it, and thus Christ adjures us, judge not. The state of man equals the universe, God. Suffers the nature of an insurrection. The abnegation, the crucifixion is the giving up of the intellect, the abnegation of reason, not my will, meaning not my idea, not my judgment, not my thought, not thought. But with the resurrection, the intellect is received back from the dead. It rejoins the personality and never again acts separately from it. Christianity was lucky that the Jewish myths and amalgamated cults could be interpreted with the Greek Alexandrian mysticism, or rather, shall we say that the early church and latter poets were able to bring out the deeper meaning latent in the Jewish hymn of creation and the Eastern mystery religions and agricultural rites. In the case of Buddhism, it took over the prosaic and childish theory of reincarnation, which gave man an immortality with all its disadvantages. Lack of responsibility, no recollection of past lives, and none of its advantages. Recompense for the useless suffering and injustice of this world, and fulfillment of man's desire not to suffer annihilation. In addition, the hyperboles and excessive ornamentation of the accounts of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the realms of bliss are repulsive to the non-Indian mind, far more so than the anthropomorphism of the Bible. The difference between Christianity and Buddhism is to some extent a difference of the national character of the peoples who created or embraced those religions. In India, people were overwhelmed by nature and sought to escape from the excess of life into a sublime, otherworldly, passionless, almost lifeless condition. All the things of this earth were to them mayoi, illusion, or maya, or mayoi, illusion, in themselves empty, and the cause of fruitless desire in man, desire which is the root of all evil, In Judea, where nature is not so kind, man was correspondingly grateful for the little he received and attributed to God his own feelings, and he saw it was good. Judaism is yea saying, Buddhism nay saying. In the life of Christ, as in early Christianity, we feel little of the asceticism that comes, as in the case of Buddha, from a surfeit of good things. In this respect, Zen is far closer to Christianity, at least the Christianity of Browning, though Zen would say rather. And then this is like a rice paper page. It says, a landscape by Takuan. The inscription by the painter is, I listen with my mind, not with my ears. And on the poor roof, the rain is soundless to me. I can guess the feelings of the voyagers at Shaoxing at night. The picture is a scene of rain at Shaoxing, a famous meeting place of two rivers. Takuan seems to be thinking of some incident which occurred there. God's in his world, all's right with heaven. To Buddha, the world is full of pain, pain that must be escaped from into nirvana. This nirvana is an egoless state in which the illusory individual soul is swallowed up in the perhaps equally illusory world soul. If life is suffering, lifelessness can hardly be considered a great evil. Buddha seems never to have thought of the nirvana of poetry, of art, of music, of nature, of love. For this illusory nirvana of love and hope and glory, the illusory soul is necessary, the soul in its painful peace, its peaceful pain. Without pain there is indeed no real painlessness. This is the peace that passeth understanding, the peace of the cross. Take it, for it is all God offers. Here is the one paradox which Zen has always overlooked or avoided. This is perhaps the result of Zazen, which tranquilizes by immobility. We see the same falsity in Buddhist statues, which never eat, never kill mosquitoes even, never have diarrhea, never defend the helpless. Christ was well aware of pain, but for him more important was evil, religious rather than moral evil, since it consists of alienation from God, which is lack of love. Evil is loneliness. Zen means never being lonely. Loneliness comes when we separate what are really not separated, ourselves and things. Is God a person? Are you a person? What is a person? Is the universe a mind? According to Wordsworth, the moon doth with delight look round her when the heavens are bare. Has the universe no mind? Darwin wrote, I remember well the time when the thought of the eye made me cold all over. Sight of a feather in a peacock's tail, whenever I gaze at it, makes me sick. To explain the universe in terms of material things and mechanical forces only, without any mind, whatever it is indeed, is impossible and superstitious, is a belief in a kind of Father Christmas deity. On the other hand, animism sees everything as a soul, but this, however poetically true it may be, obscures the distinction between animate and inanimate. No doubt a stone is a person too, but it does not have or wish to have the immortality that human beings desire. The difference between a stone and a man is that a man, a poet that is, who is the only really human being, knows what a stone is. A stone does not. To know a stone, we must do two things. We must know that it is the whole universe. The whole universe is contained in it, and nothing is excluded. It is the way, the truth, and the life. It is the land of hope and glory. It is the hallelujahs of the saint and the face of God, or at the same time, it is only a lifeless, soulless, almost meaningless blur. Though no doubt with infinite possibilities and potentialities, it is the stone which the builders rejected. Taking an example from non-natural objects, is beauty in the eye of the beholder or in the picture? The Buddhist answer would be that it is in the eye, the mind. The Christian reply is that the beauty is in God, faintly reproduced in the picture and dimly seen by us, the Zen view, and the right one is that beauty exists when and only when I am the picture. Though the picture is a bad one, or even a blank canvas, beauty arises when the canvas has already suffered a sea change, a universe change, a Zen change. That is to say, man is also a social animal, a solitary hive bee. No man liveth to himself or to others, and the true half history of the world is the history of the reunification of things, pictures, and man. Mind is not produced by a mindless universe. It is involved in it from the very beginning, which looks forward to its end. The immortality of the soul was denied by primitive Buddhism, since the soul itself had no existence as an indivisible entity. Even now, at this late date, 1961, the expression muga, non-self, is used in Japanese to designate the state of mind. No mind in which great deeds of any kind are performed. Here, Christianity, that is, the Western world feeling, is in strong and perhaps permanent opposition. The will to live, the feeling of the miraculousness of our birth into this world, and our violent antipathy to extinction, this is a universal phenomenon, and it has been asked with some pertinence, whether the whole of humanity in its long history made the great mistake of supposing that a man is himself alone, with responsibility for his own actions, and only Sakyamuni realized that he is an illusion, like everything else, a bundle of fleeting thoughts and impressions that vanish like a dream and leave not a rack behind, not only at death but at every moment. Zen is said to be non-duality, non-choosing. The weak mind desires oneness, the peace of an all-inclusive unity where it cannot be surprised or attacked by anything outside or unexpected, for there is nothing but this one, no place beyond it, no time but the present moment. To attain this pearl of great price, this monistic death, mystics have sold all they have or are. Art, music, poetry, nature are given up by the colorblind, the tone-deaf, the scientific, the automation, loving, in order to attain an insensitive, unquestioning, don't-care, fish-hearted, sexless, pain-free, ambitionless, unnatural peace of mind. The mistake of Zen is its mystical and scientific overemphasis on unity, its contempt for words, its excessive love of sitting. The one, as D.H. Lawrence felt, is more dangerous than the many. Scientists search for the one, the mystics find it, but the ordinary man sees only the many. He is pluralistic and polytheistic, and yet at the same time he is willing to die for his small piece of land, and even for no land at all. He can bear toothache better than a philosopher, and of him Thoreau wrote, "He is the great poet, not Homer or Shakespeare." The world is one, it is many, it is not one, not many. Take your choice of these two, not one of the four. What is the conclusion to all of this? It is that Zen, if it is in the end to be something at all, if it is to be all and all in all, must be not merely Indian Zen with its quietism, or Chinese Zen with its monkish practicality, or Japanese Zen with its artistic and poetical life. As D.H. Lawrence said, the dark hand and the white hand must clasp each other, not in any mawkish pretense of friendliness, but so that the Zen of Buddhism may absorb and be absorbed by the Zen of Christianity. The eternal Buddha has always been in nirvana, in utter peace and perfection. The eternal Christ will never be at rest until the last sinner has been somehow or other squeezed through the pearly gates of heaven. But this also is in eternity. This Zen is that something evermore about to be, the deeper nature that Wordsworth tells us is opposed to nature, Nature, which Matthew Arnold says in Morality, knows its own incompleteness only when it remembers that time when in the heavenly house I trod and lay upon the breast of God. Okay, that's called Zen Christianity and Buddhism. Chapter 1, R.H. Blythe, Zen and Zen Classics. It's a great book. Yeah, it's very good. It's very smart because it pulls so much, and he really, this is like a professor's dream because he pulls so much source material and then provides like commentary on it, intelligent commentary. So it's a very smart book.
Does this the Blythe Zen?
Yeah.
So I just found like a PDF copy, just downloaded it.
Yeah, read from that because it's very smart.
Yeah, like I was just like sort of like overlooking the preface. It's really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of Christians would benefit from this because it's so smart.
Like, I gotta go. I need to go to the butcher shop, get some steak, cook some good food for my wife. But it was really good reading. Like,
Okay,
really
yeah,
good.
great takes.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach is here.
Yeah.
Maybe Zach will want to do a Toyra study.
Toyra. Let me. Oh, he just left.
No.
I guess he sideswiped.
He'll be back. He probably joined the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
What up, Zach?
Well.
Hey, what's going on, Zach? What's going on?
What do you like this voice? Do you like this voice better?
I like that. Sounds like a nice, sexy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Sally.
Like, oh my goodness, wow, it's so crazy. But yeah, no, like, this is like,
You know, I'm from the ghetto, but I've been doing, I trolled John for a little bit, but he figured me out because of the username, not because of the voice changer, so.
Well, I think you had everybody else fooled too, which is the coolest part, is that everybody thought you were a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was really like I was telling John that it's really subversive, and like I just need to practice like my accents, and then it'll be really powerful.
Okay, Zach, this is my competitive reframing of Clubhouse. It's a new house. It's called Reading Books to Each Other Club. So the whole purpose of the room, the house, is to read books to each other and avoid irascibility. So if you have 5 to 10 minutes for Hashem Rabbanu Shalom and his Torah, no matter what it is, if it's of high value, read it. But the whole purpose of the room is to avoid useless discourse and engage in wisdom, aka Torah. I can read or you can read, but I've been reading for like 2 hours, so I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, I'm not really in a position to read right now, unfortunately.
What are you doing?
I am doing some other shit. I'm eating and I'm going soon to jiu-jitsu. I shouldn't be on Clubhouse, to be honest with you. It's a waste of time. Reading books to each other club sounds good. That's not a waste of time, but I think that sometimes I should not be on Clubhouse.
It's all just a question of what are you thinking, and if what you're thinking is based on what you're listening to or what you're saying. So if you read from a book, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and if it's a good book, you're doing good things because you're having good thoughts. Thus, you'll have good actions, good outcomes. But if you listen to all the stupid, horrible trash on this piece of shit, collective, you will have bad outcomes. I think that is the formula of words. So you are what you think, you are what you say. And if you say you shouldn't be here, that means you're shit in, shit out. So Chris and I came to the conclusion that good in, good out, shit in, shit out.
That is a good conclusion. All right. Well, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna come back at a time when I can read books to each other.
Okay, thanks for coming to the Reading Books to Each Other club. Oh, hi, Mary Lou. Welcome to Reading Books to Each Other. Cash in that pink ticket, Mary Lou. Good Shabbos, Rabbeinu Shaloi Loim, Amos, Samson, Chen. Geh kachen lichtig in deine Augen. Fusta.
Everybody to my room, or you didn't call them?
I can invite people.
You told them to close the room and come to my room.
Go to the room. I think so. Amos, kinakakala ka na.
לא. היום בלילה הוא יבוא אליי.
כולם ישנים.
I'm paying them.
זה נימי. זה נימי.
Make minor changes and conceal all actions. Even above, like below. All shading current.
This condition. All the things of this earth were to them mayoi, illusion, or maya, or mayoi, illusion in themselves. You know, your properties, I know the property tag. I don't even know, like, if you want to throw that back in his face like that, because.
You know, and the coolest thing about it is that it's just a normal conversation. And 5 days. 2 things. So contain text search equal.
לא הולך לי, ניסיתי, לא הולך לי, אני...
And everybody is scrambling to optimize themselves with whatever they can grab out of the natural environment, however they can process that into something that's valuable. And
Going is long, say I must give you a note, I can explain this, go. Yeah, I'm using me to Shuki, let's go ahead and close it. Shut it down.
וואו, זה הכי פשע.
לא יודע אם שוקי, אני פוחד, אני לא חוסם אותי, הייתי רואה. לא חושב ששוקי פותח את זה. אתה רואה חדר של שוקי, שי? חן, אתה רואה חדר של שוקי?
Adrian, hey.
Dumpling.
Hello, little dumpling. How are you? Good showbiz.
I am good, thank you, my love. How's life going for you?
Well, it's showbiz. I'm above ground, and I'm with the world famous 5-star General Shuki.
Oh yeah, Shuki's a great person.
Shuki is my favorite. He's the greatest, best Israeli who has ever lived. A real Talmud Chacham.
Did you know that his horse knows how to masturbate?
You're not ashamed of my kissing Shuki in my room. You're not ashamed, Rabbi.
I meant to say Amos, actually.
You're not ashamed to talk like this in Shuki in my room, in Amos's room.
Like I said, I meant to say Amos, but I said Shuki by accident. It was Dumpling. She triggered me.
Okay, your explanation is acceptable. Shuki ever home?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Didn't they take away the orb or the world thing where you can see all the live rooms, and so now you just scroll right on the news, in the hallway immediately?
I see only the rooms that my friends are inside. If you're my friend and you're in a room, I will see the room. But if you're not my friend and there is a room open, like if Shuki open a room, but you will have my friends there always. I don't know.
All right, well, I hope you have a nice Shabbos and all your dreams come true.
Go and say it to Shuki that I hope he is dying tonight. Tell him my message.
Listen, when Shuki eats a chicken shawarma sandwich, it's still just a chicken shawarma sandwich. And when you eat a chicken shawarma sandwich, it's still just a chicken shawarma sandwich. You're both the same person. So your hatred for Shuki is like you looking in a mirror and not seeing your own divine beauty, Amos.
Rabbi, you have a nice philosophical life, You're a good philosopher and a good demagogue. You're like Bibi Netanyahu talking.
Bibi's good. You got to give him credit. The man has achieved an incredible position of, legacy. I mean, he's burned in the minds of history in many ways.
Linda, how are you?
Hi, Chen. How are you, my son? Chen, what do you have in your Bible?